What's going on, guys? Samuel World from Samuel World Productions here, back with another tier list for you all today. And for this tier list, with the most recent release of Shazam! Fury of the Gods, I think now might be the perfect time for me to do an updated ranking on the DC Extended Universe. I bet when I want to do this now, or if I want to wait till after The Flash and Blue Beetle and Aquaman Lost Kingdom comes out later this year, but, you know, I love talking about these DC supermovies, so I figured, why the hell not? So I'm gonna rank all the current DC Extended Universe movies, with all 13 movies, along and that one season of the show Peacemaker that also came out as well. So that's 14 movies and shows I will be ranking for you all today, and this definitely is an interesting universe to talk about for a lot of reasons and for a lot of people. And I know I just like after the Flash movie, after the ones come out this year, this is gonna be the end of this universe. And DC, and it's on, and it's, you guys can tell DC is kind of a clusterfuck, honestly. But yeah, since I talked about these movies, and next week I actually will have it, and then next week or week after that I will have another DC related video where I rank all the main villains in the DC, because other than that, that's what I'm going to be doing for today. So I hope you'll enjoy the ranking. I would love to know how you guys rank all these movies, shows down in the comments. And before we do get started, I do want to give a special shout out to my good friend Marshmallow Dragon, who, first off, if you don't know this amazing streamer, I don't know what the hell you're doing. She is an incredible individual, an inspiring, talented human, and one of the most genuine people you will ever find ever, and has one of the most supportive and welcoming communities ever on Twitch. Now I'm saying that because she just I did research about this honestly, but I don't think I make another video. But she just released her first book called The Prodigy, which I actually have been reading. I think I'm like halfway through it as I'm filming this, and I've been really enjoying it. Honestly, I'm really excited to finish to see how this ends. Is the first part of a body series, and you can tell that she puts a lot of work and passion into this. So I will leave a link to the description down below where you can buy this book, and I would highly recommend that you do so and give this amazing human being, Marshmallow Dragon, or Nick Bright, the love, care, and support that she truly, absolutely deserves. She is one of my favorite people I've met on Twitch. She is in one of the most genuine communities, has helped and been there for me for a lot of the past 2 years since I've known her. And if you not know her, what the hell are you doing? But seriously, I will leave a link to the book, the Amazon link to the book down below in the description for you guys to check it out. I would highly, highly, highly suggest that you do, and give her the support that she absolutely deserves. So I think I shout this out. So, no being bush, let's get started with the ranking, shall we? Okay, guys, this is my ranking of all of the DCEU movies. I have all the movies along the Peacemaker right here. I have like 14 of them to rank here. So let's get started. First off, we get to the film that started all, Man of Steel, which is always an interesting movie to discuss with people, as this is like one of those movies that you never know what answer you're going to get from a lot of people. Because people think like, oh my god, this is a masterpiece. I love every single man movie. This is an amazing story of Superman. I love this movie. I love what it stands for. And you have a lot of people like, this is the worst film ever made. This is a terrible Superman movie. It betrays everything that Superman was known for. Why was Superman do this? Why was Superman do that? That's what you get, Man of Steel, honestly. For a lot of people, honestly. No joke, and that's still going on almost 10 years later. 10 years after it came out? Stories? Wow. That's interesting. So, but what are my thoughts on Man of Steel? What are my thoughts on this divisive entry in the franchise and the most interesting Superman film out there? I think it's good. Listen, I just think it's good. I don't think it's like an amazing movie, but I don't think it's a terrible movie either. It does have its great moments. I think Henry Cavill does a great job as the character, and I still believe he got freaking screwed, and he probably could be the best Superman if it once by that again. He got freaking screwed. I think the Michael Shannon's General comes out a much better villain than I actually give him credit for. Therefore, I think the visuals, again, Zack Snyder, say what you will about him, he always delivers on the visuals, he always delivers on gorgeous cinematography, and he does that again here. The score is immaculate. I always love that Superman flying sequence as well. That scene is just incredible. And you do get some great action sequences, especially in the third act. Yeah, I'm someone that actually does enjoy the third act here, especially with the end portion. The things I always think that do hold it back for me is probably I wish that some characters were developed a bit more outside of Superman. I think the pacing kind of is all over the place at times, especially in the halfway point. And I'm one of those people that never liked Lois Lane in this universe. Like, nothing against Amy Adams, obviously, because she's an amazing actress. But I thought she's just your typical generic super love interest, but hardly in development, and she doesn't really have any chemistry with Henry Cavill. And the relationship just ends up feeling rushed. Those are things that always just hold the film back for me every time I watch it. The one I do watch it, I do find at least a little bit more appreciation for it, though I can easily understand why this movie would not be for everybody, especially for the diehard Superman fans. Like, I know some that hate diehard Superman fans that hate it, but I know some that absolutely adore this movie, so yeah, Man of Steel's going in the good tier. Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, or Dawn of Disappointment, and again, I am only counting the Ultimate Edition. I think if you were watching me, I would say always watch the Ultimate Edition, honestly. I think that is part of the preferred version of this movie. It does get a cut. I probably honestly would put it in the bad and terrible tier. But I'm actually now going to put it in the mixed bag category. This, for a long time, was actually my least favorite DCEU movie. Obviously, it's not, but it was definitely for the longest time. And I still, despite all my pauses, I do still consider this movie to be the most disappointing movie I've seen in the 2010s. I am dead serious. But again, there are some positives I have about this movie. I'm not saying this movie like all bad. Like Man of Steel is a very divisive movie. But I don't say less divisive though. I think a lot of people are a little more negative about it these days, and there are some that would say like a misunderstood masterpiece. And again, I honestly put it in the middle. So I can truly, and this is one of the films that I probably would just put in the middle of the movie, the middle of the bunch. But again, there was definitely a lot of fun and greatness to be had in this movie. This movie, I guess, you definitely see what science fiction, at least where it's going for, with the messaging and everything, and I do admire that. I think Ben Affleck does a great job as Batman and Bruce Wayne. I think he's probably the best Bruce Wayne that we have gotten so far. And honestly, if we were getting like more movies, he probably would have been the best Batman, honestly, but again, screwed. And again, the visuals are fantastic as well. I think the action sequences are at least the ones I enjoy are actually pretty good, especially with that warehouse sequence. I think it's a fantastic, badass sequence. Bad freaking ass. Sorry. I think also great as Wonder Woman. You do get some good character fun interactions. But at the same time, you get some of the most frustrating stuff I have seen in any superhero movie, and probably film in general. Again, with the way the fight ends up happening, and the way some kids act like really dumb, and how the fight ends, and the whole freaking final battle with bringing Doomsday, which I thought was really not really, and the way how the film ends, and the fact that no one's playing like Batman and Silent Killer, which I thought was a good concept. I don't think they really explored it that much to where it doesn't really make sense, especially if you're a Batman super fan. And I hate Lex Luthor in this movie. I freaking hate Lex Luthor. This movie, like, not against Eisenberg, but I don't know what other thing is portrayal. And of course, save Martha. I had to. That's definitely some aspects, especially after seeing the last night just leaked. I do appreciate more about the movie. But again, this film kind of also feels like more of a setup movie for future movies, even with the Ultimate Edition that adds definitely a little more context for a few scenes. But even then, yeah. I'm definitely not more in the middle of this movie, honestly. I don't think it's like a terrible movie, honestly, but it's by having some of the most frustrating elements I've seen in any film I've ever seen. It does have enough positives to it, and I don't really actually hate the actual movie. It's just such a letdown considering, again, this is the first time we see Batman and Superman on the big screen, and because of everything happened, we're not going to see a freaking Ben Affleck solo Batman movie, which I'm with the people I think they probably should have done that in the first place. But they're not. So yeah. Now we get to Suicide Squad. I also want to know that with this movie, Suicide Squad, and another one I'm talking about a little bit, I actually enjoyed these movies when they came out. I actually was a little more positive toward these movies by my issues. But they kind of got down a lot less RP rewatches, and unfortunately, Suicide Squad is one of those movies I think I would put in the good tier, but now it's more, nah, nah, meh. Again, a lot of that really is comes down to the editing of the movie, because it's, again, this is also some of the worst editing I've seen in any movie, period. How things are structured and handled. Again, that's because the reception of Batman Superman and all their constant reshoots and everything, and J-Lo's Joker ended up having a more diminished role here. And I'm someone that honestly thought J-Lo's Joker, I think, had a lot of potential. Just unfortunately, we never got to see that potential because of, what happens. But again, like Batman Superman, it does have some positives. Again, you do get some fun and humorful moments. I think the acting, for the most part, is great, especially from Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, Will Smith as Deathshot, even Giant freaking Courtney as Captain Boomerang. He is good in this movie, and this was one of the only good performances that you ever see from this actor. Who I thought from the Suicide Squad hasn't really done much, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Yeah, and in Viola Davis is also a good man as well, but again, the story is just so jumbled all over the place. Enchantress is a terrible villain that has one of the most jokes of a final battles you will ever fucking see. Like, seriously. There's just not really anything memorable, honestly. Like, yeah. Not a good movie, and it's something that amazing bringing after that makes it pretty disappointing. Again, another major disappointment. Then we got Wonder Woman. And now we get the first true amazing movie in the DC Extended Universe. I mean, I've always loved Wonder Woman when I saw it in the theaters. I always adored this movie, and almost like 6 years later, I still do. Well, it does have some little issues with the villains in the third act. I don't really hate those as much as most people do. I do definitely send them issues, but not like huge, gigantic problems, in my opinion. I do agree that the final battle should not be like a big CGI fest, but it was still great fun, and the villains are a bit better than MB, but they're not exactly memorable either. But of course, Gal Gadot I think is fantastic as a character. I think she embodies what makes Wonder Woman, and she and Chris Pine, Chris Pine have incredible and amazing and a wonderful chemistry. It's some of the best chemistry you'll see in any comic book movie. This is how you do a romance right in a comic book movie, okay? This is how you do it right, people. But it has a lot of laughs, smiles, great action sequences, amazing set pieces, really surprising moments, really touching moments. There's just so much to really enjoy about this movie. Again, it's basically what one movie should be. And in fact, it took this long to actually get that, like, it's kind of crazy if I'm being honest. But yeah, I still do love this movie. It's still, in my opinion, one of the best movies in this universe. Oh boy, now we get to, as people consider, Justice League. Justice League. A movie that I think for a lot of people has definitely got down huge on their rankings. And that's because how this film was manufactured, and how it was edited, how it was handled. And of course, all the stuff that's been revealed behind the scenes about Josh Whedon, and of course, all the Snack Zeit that are leaving, and all that stuff. Like, this movie has probably one of the most troubled and insane production stuff. And I'm pretty sure we still haven't got all the stuff that could as well. Yeah. And like a lot of people, I also think this movie definitely is not good. Again, I think I was kind of a little bit high. I think I also would put it in the good tier as well. So, but now it's probably I think the only movie that's going in the bad to terrible tier, because this movie now sucks. This movie is probably one of the movies that I would not watch again because of all the stuff that happened revealed about this movie afterwards, and how people how Josh Whedon treated everybody on this film. I especially feel bad for Ray Fisher and Gal Gadot and pretty much everyone involved in production, especially that's it. Pretty much ruin a lot of these actors' futures as these characters, and especially Ben Affleck. Like, I feel bad for. I'm sorry, I feel bad for a lot of these actors here, and I'm not. I really don't want to talk about it. It's by far the worst film in the DCEU. This movie is just gross. I don't use that word like when it comes to movies, but if you've seen them in Attention History, you wouldn't read that too. Now we get to and pretty much every movie from honestly, I'm gonna say this. Every movie from here on out, I really enjoy. Every movie from all these movies, I do actually enjoy. So first off, we have Aquaman. Definitely a genuine surprise. I was not expecting to enjoy Aquaman as much as I did. And it's definitely a film that's just fun and entertaining and really embraces it. So again, it's one of the movies that knows what it is and knows what it goes for and just goes straight to it. You know, you can tell like what James Wan really wants to do with this movie. You can tell what he was wanting to make here. Just like dumb, cheesy, fun action adventure movie that's in Atlantis, and I say he delivers on that. I think this is what Jason Momoa really does shine as the character, at least in this different interpretation of the character. Whatever her name was also good, I guess. Kim was also great as well. I think Patrick Wilson plays the first true amazing DCU villain, and he has a really compelling character and a interesting branding presence throughout the movie. I think the visuals are fantastic. My only issue is just a couple of song selections that I'm still not particularly a fan of, and I'm still not huge on the whole Black Manta, and hopefully in a lot of cases they do pay it off, but as a whole, I still have a blast whenever you watch this movie, so it's going in the great tier. Shazam! Another genuine surprise. I actually remember I got to see this movie at an early screening, actually. I was supposed to meet a friend, but that friend unfortunately the movie gave a ridiculous excuse, so it didn't. But that's a story for another day, but Shazam Right Building is also an amazing movie, and it is also one of the best movies in the DCU. DCU is just a simple, fun, lighthearted film that, again, it's basically combining Superman and Bake together to create an interesting, engaging, coming-of-age movie with as an Angel being great, and someone I actually remember knew from Disney Channel, actually, yes, I don't think people care, but as an Angel actually was a Disney Channel actor. And Angel actually really likes having the time of his life here. I also love the family aspects that they added here as well. I also love the horror aspect. I mean, some different standpoint. I think he's a really talented director. You get a lot of great and fun moments here. You get a lot of fantastic action. I think Marshall's a lot more better villain than people give him credit for, honestly. And while I would say it does have a couple tonal issues here and there, I think the final battle does kind of drag it a little bit, but as a whole, I always love coming back to Shazam. Shazam! Is a truly great and lighthearted movie. Now we get to Birds of Prey. Birds of Prey. And of all the films on this list, this is the one I think generally surprised me the most. As I'm honestly was not expecting to enjoy Birds of Prey as much as I have. Right? But this movie is fantastic. This movie is awesome, and it's the first one that's going in the top of the top tier, because Birds of Prey is incredible. This is definitely by far the film in DCU that I have rewatched the most. Don't want a film that might change that, but this is by far the film I have rewatched the most, and it's a film that's just, it's basically the Deadpool of the DCU, but in the best possible way. Honestly, and since Harley Quinn, it definitely feels a lot more different than that. And this is where Margot Robbie truly shines as the character. I think what they do with Cassandra Cain, Black Canary, and Huntress, I thought was pretty great as well. Even Renee Toyota was great as well. I think the actings are stylistic and visually amazing. Black Mask is an incredible villain played excellent by Ian McGregor. It has so many great and hilarious moments that made me laugh a lot, but not afraid to have a lot of heart to it as well. Like, you can tell there's a lot of passion and love into these characters and everything, and nobody that basically knows what it is but embraces it. I mean, it's a freaking movie that's in Harley Quinn's head, and if you know Harley Quinn, it definitely honestly has been a great year to be a Harley Quinn fan, honestly, with this and the animated show. So yeah, Birds of Prey, fantastic. Then we get to Wonder Woman 1984. Film that by a lot of people considered to be one of the worst superhero movies ever made. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people that consider now with this movie, And honestly, I don't think that. But I don't think it's that great either, unfortunately. It's going in the solid to decent category. Probably the only one that's in that category. Because, well, yeah, it's that often not as good as the first one, honestly. I think a lot of that comes to story issues and how to implement certain elements, especially with Chris Pine. I had to bring him back and start holding with the wishes I just didn't really care for. Honestly, I think they were kind of rushed, definitely involving Kristen Wiig's Cheetah, despite Kristen Wiig giving a good performance. And it just had a lot of story moments that don't really make a lot of sense if you really think about it. Especially if you consider the timeline of the actual, with this in the original movie. But it's still a solid movie that does have some good action, great visuals, and great interesting aspect, great 80s aspect, and Pedro Pascal having the freaking time of his life playing Maxwell Lord. Pedro Pascal is probably like one of those actors with this, The Mandalorian Last Versus. He's one actor that's definitely going to give his all in every performance that he has given, and this is no exception. And I think the story elements again were not that great. It's also paced weird as well. And again, the High Bessie Trevor was very weird. So, yeah. I just don't hate it as much as some people seem to do, honestly. But it's definitely not a great movie. 5 more to go. Now we have Zack Snyder's Justice League. I remember how people were really hugely demanding for this movie to come out. How people were hugely demanding that this film would come out. And no way this movie is actually going to come out, and that it actually does come out. And while I actually liked the movie at first, I think upon rewatch this movie I think it's gotten a lot better for me upon rewatch. Like, so much better upon rewatch. Too, I'm actually going to put it in the top tier as well. But, well, again, it's definitely not because of the length. I don't think I'm going to constantly rewatch this movie like some of these movies here, but, you know, I cannot deny the ambition. I cannot deny the amazing epic scope, because unlike the 2017 version, this actually feels like a legitimate Justice League movie. The one that a lot of us have been waiting for goddamn years. Again, it's probably been 4 hours long. It definitely does feel like an epic movie. Pretty much, and then like every issue that in the 2017 is pretty much fixed here. Basically, I think a lot like these team actually feels like a legitimate team. I think some of the characters actually feel like actual characters, especially Cyborg, who is basically someone who was like a robot emotionless mess, no pun intended, in the original movie, but he actually is the heart and soul of the movie, and Ray Fisher does a fantastic job as his character. And it's probably the best we have seen. We are going to see Ben Affleck as Batman, and also the best we're going to see Henry Cavill as Superman, which is a shame, considering everything that went up behind the scenes. and the visuals are great as well. The action, especially the final battle, are fantastic. And it's considered how Steppenwolf in the original movie was a joke of a villain, and now he's incredible villain here. That's probably the most, actually. I still think that the epilogue kind of dragged it a little bit, and Lois Lane's not a fan of her either, but by those other issues, I still adored this movie, and I think I'm going to appreciate. And every time I do rewatch this movie, that I am going to appreciate a lot more. And it's fortunate that we actually are knowing. And this is something that I really never really cared about, the whole restore the Snyder Cut aspect, because I suppose because that you probably never going to get that. For that we get is definitely just try not to do those Storm side of us things, because that's going to happen. That's going to happen either, and we can blame Warner Bros. For that. 4 more to go. Now we have the Suicide Squad. From I was definitely excited, especially with this being directed by James Gunn. And spoiler alert, this is actually my favorite DCEU movie so far, and by far one of the best superhero movies ever made, in my opinion. Again, this movie basically is kind of like what the 2016 film should have been. And it is probably the most James Gunn movie yet. Again, James Gunn really has always had this thing style in his movies, with how he directs certain things, how he handles certain things. Like, he's always been a diverse and different director. Like, by how he structures movies and how he implements characters and all that stuff. And this is probably the most James Gunn movie a James Gunn movie has been, but not in a bad way. In fact, it's kind of what makes it so great, honestly. again, you get a lot of new characters here that really do get the time to shine here. Even some returning characters from that movie actually get more time to shine. Rick Flag especially, by Joel Kinnaman. Harley Quinn's still great as always. Idris Elba as Bloodsport. John Cena as Peacemaker. Polka Dot Man. Ratcatcher 2. Characters I probably would not set to enjoy as much as I have, but they end up becoming huge standouts here. Ratcatcher 2 especially is someone who I was not expecting to enjoy much as I have, but especially when you hear backstory and everything, like, wow. And the film doesn't really have like a huge central antagonist, but you do get a lot of great conflicts here, a lot of great heart here as well, some fantastic action set pieces, especially that Red Flag and Peacemaker fight, and you do get a lot of great interactions between these characters. Again, very James Gunn-esque, but in the best possible way. This is just one of the most exhilarating, fun, and irritating movies out there. It's a movie that's very like wild and zany, but in the best possible ways, and this movie I always have a great time every time I watch it. It is by far the best movie in the DC Extended Universe, in my opinion. Then we get to its spin-off show, Peacemaker. And it's interesting that I decided to make one out of John Cena's character, Peacemaker, but I ended up loving it. Especially the fact that they have made Peacemaker and a lot of his characters, people that are just abysmal and awful people, actually come out as likable. And this is a show I think the humor's not for everybody, honestly, but if you're into that very raunchy humor, this is definitely one of the most raunchiest out there, but I could not stop laughing my ass off. John Cena did give probably the best performance he has ever given. I think the other characters are great, the action is great, and who could forget that freaking theme song? Need I say anymore? Okay, now we have 2 movies up on this list. Before we do that, feel free to hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will definitely love to know again how would you rate all these DCU movies down below in the comments. And again, in coming weeks I do plan to do another DCU ranking where I plan on ranking all of the main villains in the DC universe, so stay tuned for that. But now we have Black Adam. A very interesting movie nowadays, considering everything involving The Rock and how long it took the movie to actually get made, and the whole restructuring of the DCU, and post-credit scene that already feels incredibly dated. But for me personally, I enjoy Black Adam. Again, it's a definition of a movie that basically feels so 2000s and so like, yeah, very just feels like a movie that shouldn't have released that time. It doesn't do anything to reinvent the wheel or anything, just your typical generic superhero movie and all that stuff. You do get great performances, especially from The Rock and Pierce Brosnan, even though Tattoo was good in this movie. You do get some fun visual moments, some fun action sequences, some great humor. It's a very fun and enjoyable movie. Of course, the issue is that I don't really care too much about the human characters here as well. Again, it feels very 2000s in the worst way, and it's probably one of the most forgettable villains I've seen in quite some time. Because apparently this film that needs a villain. But this is a movie that I can honestly watch and enjoy, but it's fortunate and it's interesting, but I don't think it could have been better, honestly, and it's unfortunately we're not, despite the fact that how long it's been, but we're not going to see The Rock play this character for quite some time. And that leads us to the last movie we're talking about, Shazam! Fury of the Gods. The most recent Shazam movie, and here's the interesting, with the reception with this movie and Quantumania, I think that kind of proves that people are getting more tired of these type of superhero movies, and I think some people are feeling kind of burnout here, honestly. I know there's like 2 movies, but I mean, it can't be just coincidence that these movies end up not getting the best reception. I mean, hell, Quantumania is like the lowest rated movie in the MCU. I'm not joking. Yeah, so what I think of Shazam! Fury of the Gods, both of you some are short, you probably would know, but I think that was a good movie. Definitely doesn't reach like the true heights of the first Shazam movie, but I don't think it does anything like that bad either. Again, for things that we end up not seeing much of the kid aspect of the kid and superhero type of movie, so that kind of lessens the uniqueness of the movie. And again, it's kind of one of those been there, done that type of movies. Like, we've seen it before, we know what it's going to do, and it doesn't really anything to really like stand out, honestly. And it does have some story and character issues, with especially more on the structure and all that stuff I mentioned earlier. I think the villains are actually pretty solid as well. I think you still get some of that fun and zany humor. Jonathan the Grazer easily steals the show and everything he's in. But again, the story is and the structure is a bit all over the place, and just saying I feel like you just got a little too much pushed to the wayside, and that one cameo, like, yeah. Overall, still a good movie though. One I definitely would not mind coming back to, but that's my ranking of all 14 movies in the DC Extended Universe, with Bad Terrible being Justice League, having Suicide Squad 2016, Mixed Bag having Batman Human Dawn of Justice, Solid Decent Wonder Woman 1984, Good Shazam Fear of the Gods, Black Adam, Man of Steel, Great Aquaman, Amazing Wonder Woman and Shazam, and the top of the top, the upper echelon DC Universe, Zack Snyder Justice League, Peacemaker, Birds of Prey, and the Suicide Squad. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this tier list video. Again, I will have one for the villains coming away very soon, and I also have one more Big Brother related one coming very soon for that as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am Sam, one more Sam Productions, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.